Welcome to The Prestige, the Sharpest MMA picks channel on YouTube. We don't guess here. Every pick runs through a custom 13 filter system designed to eliminate bias and uncover real statistical edges. This model took me hundreds of hours of data entry, studying, and back testing to get it this accurate. I may or may not have sold 2 fingers to the gambling gods to make it happen. The Prestige model app is coming soon, and you can, so you can break down every UFC fight with the same system I use to cash these big bets weekly. Subscribe now, join the sharp side, and let's break down this card. First, I wanted to go over a lot of these bets we just hit on. We guessed Rafael, well, not guessed, we called Rafael Fiziev by decision. We called Claudia Segula by decision. We called Jun Young Park by decision. We called Miktelbeck Oralby by submission. We called Tagir Ulanbekov by decision. We called Curtis Blades by decision. We called Nazim Sadyakov by decision. We called Muhammad Naimov by decision. And we are the only one on YouTube. If you go to the YouTube tracking guy on YouTube, we are the only one who picked Saquon Coe by decision. We are hitting everything. Stay tuned at the end of the show here, and I have a breakdown on the last 2 weeks. We have missed, I think it's 4 bets. Just, it's all tallied up at the end, and it'll keep being tallied up. Just keep on following me. The videos will get more tolerable, I promise. The picks are there. I promise you guys, you will be making money. Stay tuned. Let's get on to the picks. Alright, first up is the main event. We got Ilia Topuria going against Charles Oliveira. I am a giant Charles Oliveira. I have been a giant Charles Oliveira since probably about when he won the belt. I didn't follow him too closely before that, but I've loved him. I love how happy he was when he won the belt. I love how he was a good champion. I love everything about him. Unfortunately, he's going against Ilia Topuria, who is a very, very dangerous striker. He also has Jordanian wrestling that is going to be a problem. Anywhere that this fight goes, I feel like Ilia has got a good chance of winning it. The biggest downside of Ilia is he's going to have a big size disadvantage here. It's going to be only a 3-inch height difference, it says on paper, but it's a 5-inch reach advantage. And Charles, he throws knees, elbow, he throws everything. But I see this fight being Ilia walking him down the center, just like he did Max Holloway. He always takes the center of the octagon. He's just going to walk him down. Charles is going to strike. He's going to try and keep him away from him. Ilia's going to come in and just crack him in the body, and then he's going to knock him out, just like Max. I think it's first round knockout. I'm going to have some, later in the week, not tonight, I'm going to have some Hail Mary bets that are, Hail Mary. We're very accurate here, so it's going to be at least a good chance of winning these bets. So stay tuned. There's going to be some crazy odd bets we're going to be hitting here. But I go Ilia Topuria under 1.5 rounds. I think it's a pretty safe bet. Oliveira could get a lucky sub, so you might want to hedge it with like round 1 submission on Oliveira, which is what I might do. But other than that, I think it's a pretty clean fight. It's pretty chalky, so it is what it is. That's why people are going with the round bets and stuff like that. Yeah, sorry Charles, love you. On to the next fight. Alrighty, got the green screen fixed. It is so hot in here. My fan just broke, and I don't know what's going on with the AC, but it is like 100 degrees in here, so I apologize. We got Pantoja against Kai Kara France here. I'm a big fan of Pantoja. I think he is very good. 1 second. Looking at his match history here, he just beat Kai Asakara. I believe this fight is going to look a little bit like the Steve Erceg fight, except for I don't think Kai Kara France has the takedown defense that Steve Erceg has. Or not takedown defense, but submission defense. I think it was a submission, third, fourth round sub. I think Alexander Pantoja is way too well-rounded to lose to Kai Kara France. It could be a knockout by Kai Kara France. He's always got the puncher shot, but I'm going Pantoja sub. But I like to do the double methods just to parlay them a lot. So I like to do. I'm going to do sub decision on this fight. It should be a really good fight. Pantoja's just really durable, and he always gets the fights to the ground, and he just wins. So until I'm proven otherwise, he's still only 35, so he's amazing. So, sorry, Kai Kara France, you're going to be another gatekeeper. This fight is a bit tricky. On one hand, I am a giant Josh Fan lover. I think he's going to be a champion. He fought a month ago, and I think 2 weight cuts in that little time is a disadvantage. I think Brandon Royval is very good. I faded him last fight, thinking that he was fading in his career, but he is not. He proved that to me that night. He's very well rounded. He's a high-paced grappler. Just grappler. Southpaw fighter. He's gonna have the taller. He's gonna be taller. He's gonna have the reach advantage. I think he gets just kind of ways through the first round of Josh Van's quickness, and he gets some of that speed out of the way. And I think he weathers the storm and gets a decision against Josh Van. Like I said, all the hope in the world for Josh Van. I think he's great. He's an amazing boxer. His speed is something else. But he doesn't normally have the knockout power he showed last fight. And I think on short notice with Royval's durability, I think Royval just wins the decision, which isn't even going to put Josh Van's career back. And he's going to cash a nice paycheck probably. So here we go. All right, we got Beneil Dariush against Renato Moicano. I love Renato Moicano, big fan. Watch his podcast when he's on it. He can't afford to lose this, brother. He can't afford to lose this. So I gotta back my man. A little bit of a biased bet. Moicano by sub or decision. I think it's going to be a decision. It could be a technical knockout too. Just saying. Moicano's boxing is pretty decent. He did hit Islam pretty clean. Kind of dropped him. They said it was a slip, but I like to believe that he dropped him because, like I said, he's my boy, and I gotta back my boy. But he beat Benoit Saint Denis. He beat Jalen Turner. He beat Drew Dober. He beat Brad Riddell. His last loss was to Rafael Dos Anjos, which he's a very good fighter. And then before that, it was to Fiziev, and that was 2020. He lost to Islam, but I don't think Beneil Dariush is better than any of those fighters. I don't know if... You know what? I'm going to change... I don't know if Moicano can sub Dariush, but I think he can just outfight him. I think he's just kind of a better version of Dariush. He's got good submissions, questionable chins on both. He's got longer range. No, he doesn't. About the same. Yeah, they're about the same fighter. But backing my man, just because he's got a better resume lately, and he's my dude. So, and he looks younger. I mean, look at Look at Benil Dariush's hair here. I mean, I'm not one to talk, but come on. Plus, Renato can't afford to lose. He's got a brand new kid, which kind of could go either way. Either he's got more to fight for, or he's more busy at home. So take it for what it is. I'm back in Moicano. It is a biased bet, but the models suggest that it's a fine bet to make, so I'm doing it. Let's make the money. Let's make the money, brother. Peyton Talbot versus Philip Lima. This fight, I did some extra studying on. Talbot was a minus 800 favorite last fight against Hernani Barcelos, I think, who just beat Cody Garbrandt, which I called that fight as well. That was, I think, my first week of doing the cards and my first week of my YouTube video. Yeah, he just lost to Hernani Barcelos. But he was a minus 800 favorite. He beat Cameron Simon. He beat Yanis Kamori. Felipe Lima beat Miles Johns and Muhammad Naimov. Naimov's pretty good. We just saw him beat Bogdan Grod pretty good. So take that for what it is. I think Peyton Talbot went into that fight and frankly, I think he was just surprised. He normally has pretty good takedowns, pretty good takedown defense. I think he just got surprised. He's a young fighter. He doesn't have the experience. And Barcelos was all over him. That being said, Felipe Lima is going to be all over him. He kind of reminds me of Ismail Nurdiev last week, where he's kind of just good all around, but he's probably going to lose the fight. Just not a special fighter. I mean, he's very good. He's going to look the part for the TV. He's going to look the part for the bettors. A lot of people are fading Talbot. Don't take the bait. I go Talbot KO. Could be a decision. I think he is the more exciting prospect. They're both good, but I think Felipe Lima is going to lose this fight. So, Talbot by KO. I'm going to be on it. Follow me, tell me. The model states it. Get all biases out of the picture. That's what I'm doing. Let's move on to the next fight. Speaking of biases, this fight, the model states that Jack Hermanson is going to win this fight. That's what it says. I had it. I ran it 15,000 times. I entered the stats over and over again. I entered all the numbers over and over again. And then I rewatch their fights. Let me just tell you, Hermanson's a sleeper. He beat Joe Pyfer in a decision last fight. Yes, he lost the first 2 rounds, and that was a 5-round fight. So, in this being a 3-round fight, if you use the same logic, he would lose the first 2 rounds, and that would be a loss in a 3-round fight. Gregory Rodriguez is not Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer, I believe, is better than Gregory Rodriguez. Sorry. Rodriguez just doesn't have the durability. He gets himself in firefights. He can't win. He doesn't have the chin. He doesn't have the cardio. He, like Joe Pyfer, has limited cardio. Joe Pyfer was ready for a 5-round fight. Gregory Rodriguez is not training for a 5-round fight. He's going to gas in a round and a half. like he always does. That being said, Hermansson was kicking Roman Dolidze's ass in a striking match. And then he got put in this weird calf slicer back mount, back take, and just got ground and pounded. He couldn't do anything. I felt bad. But it was just a weird thing. It's never happened in the UFC before that or after that. So congrats on Roman Dolidze for inventing a crazy submission, tap out, punching situation. Before that, he beat Chris Curtis in a decision, and then lost to Sean Strickland before that. And then before that, Edmund Shabazian he beat. Lost to Vittori, won against Gastelum. So, with his win-loss, you would think he would lose. Hermansson's going to win this fight. I think he's going to win by decision. He's going to lose the first round. Might lose the first 2 minutes of the second round. Then Gregory Rodriguez is... he's going to gas. Very bad. He's going to look like Jose Aldo did. And he's just not going to have anything. And Hermansson's just going to beat the shit out of him because Hermansson has cardio for days. Hermansson's durable. He doesn't get knocked out. I'm actually a fan now of Jack Hermansson from rewatching all of his tapes. So I'm going to be rooting for him. I think he's a good dog. And he's old. So let's hope he gets this win so he can get a title shot eventually. And we'll see. But I'm going Hermansson. It's the smart money. It's the model money. And that's what we're here to do. I'm a fan of Gregory Rodriguez. But putting the bias aside, I'm going Hermansson. Moving on. Hyder Emil versus Jose Delgado. Let me tell you, this fight is going to be a banger. Both these guys just throw and throw and throw and throw. Like, if this goes the decision, I'm going to be very surprised. It could, because they're both durable. Very durable. But, wow. These guys are going to be throwing some heat. This is going to be fight of the night. This is going to be fight of the night. And guess what? Hyder Emil wins this fight. He's just durable. Gomez was cracking him, and he just kept pressuring him. Gomez is a very good takedown defense. I don't think Delgado is going to be defending 400 takedowns. Hyder just pressure up to the cage, reaches in for a single leg. If he doesn't get it, he'll back out real quick. Throw. Go in for a single. Doesn't get it, he'll back out. Throw. Hyder Emil is a machine. He's got cardio for days. Jose Delgado hits like a truck, and he's very fast. He's going to have a reach advantage. It says he had 4.8 takedowns per 15 minutes. I didn't see that many takedowns, so maybe 2 in like 3 fights I saw. I think 3 fights. Delgado could win this fight. I just don't think that Hyder Emil can get knocked out. If he could, Zhang Young Lee would have knocked him out, or William Gomez. Like, this dude has a chin on him, and he just keeps coming like the Terminator. He's like the liquid metal Terminator. So I think decision, or Emil gets a second round knockout or third round knockout on Delgado. Delgado's gonna gas a little bit. Nobody can take the punishment for 3 rounds the Hyder Emil puts out. It's just not happening. I'm sorry. Make money with it. Don't fight it. Hyder Emil wins this fight. Mark my words. Moving on to the next fight. We're just here making money. That's all we're doing. Vivian Araujo against Tracy Cortez. I think Tracy Cortez is attractive. Newsflash. I think she's ridiculous. That being said, normally we fade those fighters. But given Vivian Araujo's age, she's 38 years old. She is coming off a 2-3 record in her last 5, with losses to Natalia Silva, who that is no shame, Amanda Rivas, and Alexa Grasso. So no shame in any of those. She has wins over Jennifer Maia and Karine Silva. She's a tough bitch. I'm just gonna say it. She's pretty good everywhere. She doesn't finish fights. Her last 15 fights for all decision. That's why my prop bet for this fight is ends in decision. It's definitely gonna be chalky as hell. So whatever, parlay it if you want. Tracy Cortez coming off of a loss to Rose Namajunas. She was competitive in that fight. Rose definitely had her beat. I think she won a very dominant decision. But before that, Tracy Cortez got a win over Jazzy J. Jasmine Jazz Delicious. And this is the fight that I was like, you know what? I'm going to back Tracy Cortez. I think she's got the oomph in her. She's still young enough to get to have a will. She does do a lot of photo shoots and stuff like that. So I'm kind of worried about like the Instagram curse or like the modeling curse with the women fighters. But Vivian Araujo's 38 years old, and that doesn't go well unless you're Angela Hill, typically in the UFC, and she just can't get she can't get finished, Angela Hill. So that's the reason she's still winning. I think Tracy Cortez wins this fight, but I think it would just go over or the decision if you just want to parlay it with something. But Tracy Cortez, I love you. Moving on. We got T-Rex. Terrence McKinney. It's my boy. Again, if you guys should Santa Claus. I think that's their nicknames. Well, I know T-Rex. Yeah, Slava Claus. Sorry. Oops. Off the top of my head. Doesn't go right sometimes. Sorry. But this fight, I absolutely love betting on Terrence McKinney fights. I go the under on everyone that fights or ends in round 1 because last fight, Damir Hajtovic wins round 1. Before that, Esteban Ribovic loses round 1. Before that, wins round 1, wins round 1. Loses round 2, loses round 2. Wins round 1, loses round 1. Wins round 1, wins round 1, wins round 1. You get the message. He doesn't like to fight very long. That being said, Vyacheslav Borishev hasn't really had the power to finish in the UFC. His last UFC finish was Machete Hayashtar. Machete, what did you say? That was 2023. Since then, he has had 4 fights, and he has lost 2 and had a draw decision, or decision majority draw over Nazim Sedikov. He lost to Tom Nolan most recently. Vyacheslav Borishev is good. It's just a durable, kind of no-holes bar bullshit fighter. Like, good everywhere, not specialized in anything. Kind of reminds me of like a Piotr Jan, but like a Timo Piotr Jan. Just the way he fights. And T-Rex is my dude. He's all aggression all the time. He'll wrestle. He will knock you out. He'll get knocked out. He doesn't care. The fight's going to end. So, T-Rex, round 1 KO sub. Or just T-Rex inside the distance. That's the best bet. You don't really need to cover it more than I just did. Terrence McKinney, I hope he wins because I hope he just keeps his career going in the UFC. And he's always like, I feel like he's a loss away from losing his career. But I love him. Moving on. We got Cedric Dumas against Jackson McVeigh. Cedric Dumas. I thought he was actually decent. He is a street fighter. He kind of grapples and wrestles a little bit. But as you can see from his takedown accuracy, 35%, and takedown defense, 40%, and his negative strike differential, he kind of relies on his reach. He's a decent amateur fighter. He is. He's a good amateur fighter, I'll say. That being said, he's a good amateur fighter. He's gonna lose this fight. Jackson McVeigh. I was very pleasantly surprised. He kind of reminded me of O'Malley. Now, I'm not saying he's that good or that clean, or I guess just the way his hair was maybe it reminded me of O'Malley. His fight style doesn't. He's aggressive. He will throw elbows, knees. He will go for a choke. He'll let go of the choke. He'll go for another knee. He'll go for an elbow. He'll crash the pocket. He'll stay at range. He'll throw kicks at range. He'll throw knees at range. He'll do spinning stuff, but he'll try and press you against the fence and end the fight. I like going against people that give up on themselves. I believe Cedric Dumas gave up on himself in his last fight. I think once he fights or he faces a little bit of resilience and somebody that's going to hurt him, he backs off. And McVeigh's going to crack him with some knees to the ribs and probably some elbows to the face. And he's going to take him down and submit him probably. But I think round 1, round 2, McVeigh wins. I'm excited to see this guy in the UFC, and good luck to you, sir. Cedric, I don't know what you have to do to get better, but you're just not that good, in my opinion. But maybe you win. Who knows? The model says you don't. Moving on. We got Jonata Deniz against Alvin Hines. And let me tell you, I watched Jonata Deniz. Oops, sorry, not disease. Jonata Deniz's last fights before I watched Alvin Hines's. And when I got to Deniz's last fight, and he was just getting destroyed on the ground by elbows, and he just didn't have any. He's just doing this in the air while he's getting elbowed, rained on his face in heavyweight. Not usually what you want to see in a guy that you're about to bet on. And then I watched Alvin Hines. This guy looks. He's got like the posture and like shoulder and like. He does this kind of like a Yoel Romero nowadays. Yoel Romero. He will take the fight to the ground. That's kind of what I'm worried about. But a lot of times somebody looks good in amateur and then comes up and they don't look the same. And Deniz is a very, very good boxer. I think Hines just gets pieced up. I think it's like a first, second round KO, but for Deniz, could be decision because Alvin Hines is very durable, very durable. He'll try for submissions. He'll try for anything. He'll just charge at you and just try and run at you and take you down. He fights like an old man in a bar fight, pretty much, with some skill. And he's very durable. So, should be an interesting fight. I'm pretty confident on Jonata, though. So, you should be too. Follow me. Click the subscribe button or the follow button on YouTube. And just tag along. Let's go. Last but not least, they signed Nico Price to this card to get murdered. Nico Price has a puncher shot in this fight. That being said, Jacoby Smith is a monster. I'm sorry to keep saying it, he's like Terrence McKinney. He's like a lot of the guys like betting on. rushes you. He's got a high guard. Very aggressive. He'll push you to the cage and either throw 1 or 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, or he'll throw hooks to the body. He'll take you down a lot. He's a very good fighter, like very, very good prospect. Niko Price is durable, but he has zero striking defense, and with a negative striking differential on Niko Price and a positive 5.37 from Jacoby Smith, plus the southpaw versus orthodox, he's going to get liver kicked. Niko blocks punches with the face. It's going to be Jacoby by knockout or submission. If you really want to, you can hedge it by Niko by KO. That might be even better than a no decision bet. But Jacoby Smith destroys this fight. He should win this. He's a very good prospect. He's not a fake like Omar Sy, who I faded and won again. I also bet Kamaru Usman by decision. You should look back. I'm killing it. Speaking of killing it, this is what we're looking at here. Let me get my camera out of the way, if I can figure that out. Alright, so we are, in the last 2 weeks since I've started recording, we are 19-5-1. We lost the last week. We lost. One second. I'm sorry, I didn't get there. Last week we lost the Jamal Hill. He's a bum. I'm fading him from now on. I'm sorry. The model switched late in the week for that one too, and I went with my gut. I went with my tape study. I thought Jamal Hill was going to win that fight. I just thought he was going to just be able to stay on the outside. I didn't take into account Khalil's leg kicks, but we entered a new filter in the model for leg kicks and leg kicks received and stuff like that. That took me hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours to enter the stats for everything. I can only be able to do this because I cut my hand at work and I have all the time in the world and I get bored. So this is the only reason I started this, and I'm having a lot of fun and it's being very successful, and I figured out some loopholes in what I'm doing. And I think I love it. And I believe I'll be able to do this for a job now. But anyway, we missed the Jamal Hill fight. We got physique. Well, you saw in the beginning what we got. We missed the Melissa Mullins fight. I thought Mullins was going to win that by knockout or decision, but we were wrong. And I missed the Hamdi fight. Whatever. Who cares? That fight sucked. Everyone knew the fight was going to suck. Pretty unpredictable when people don't try to win the fights. Before that, 2 cards ago, the Usman card, we got an Usman decision. Exactly. We lost all our money on Miranda Maverick's injury. I think if she didn't get injured, she was going to win the second and third round. Call me biased, whatever. My son's name is Maverick, so, I got to be a little bit. And then Andre Petrosky, we lost that bet. And Jose Ochoa, but we upped the model to account for that, for inexperienced fighters in the UFC and durability concerns. So this week, going into it, we are 19-5-1 in the last 2 weeks. I will keep that tracker honest and updated. I'm trying to sell a product in the end of the day here, so if I am honest and we are winning and you guys are winning, then I hope you invest, and then you can, I'll explain the product in a minute, but you'll be able to do what I do, as long as you're subscribed, or I don't know how I'm going to sell it yet. They're going to be like single use or subscribed, We'll figure it out probably this week though. But these are the fighters I'm going for. Probably the most confident fighters. This is my parlay, my prestigious parlay. Peyton Talbot, Hanato Moicano. I think they're both going to win. Parlay them babies up. I got a bet for Ilia KO under 2.5 and Yanana Deniz. I don't know why I keep calling him Disease. I'm sorry, sir, but that's my double up bet or retirement bet. Now, we're going to move on to the product that I'm going to be pushing, and we'll go from there. Poof, I am back. So this is it. This is the very, we'll call it alpha model money printer coming very soon to you. Look in the YouTube description for the link. I don't know if it's going to be up this week. I'm trying to have it done, at least the alpha version up by this week. It's already loaded with this week's card, this week's fighters and stats, and all that shit. So hopefully I can get it out, and hopefully that wasn't a waste of literally 20 hours of being awake and working on just that. This bet is just an example. So minus the 1.5 over, that's a fine bet. That being said, I think it's going to be under 1.5. But this is what it's going to look like. You're going to be able to enter whatever fighter you want from the week in the fighter 1 and fighter 2. And you hit run model, and it'll give you the winner, double chance pick, how they're going to win, the confidence, the percentage that the bet's going to hit, which those are real percentages. I have multiple bets that are that percentage every week, and they hit. The 1 week it went 7 for 7 for method victory hits, and that's when I decided to make the YouTube channel and use my knowledge and enter all. And we're just upgrading the model every week. Basically, it's model 14.0. That means 1, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, that's how much I've worked on this thing. It's been hundreds of hours. I'm not even joking. Lots of work put into it. And like I said, I sold my fingers for it. So I need to make some money in the future, and this is how I plan to do it. So stay tuned, and please follow if I'm making you money. If I'm making you money, look into this fight picker, the money printer. When I release it, should be this week, maybe tomorrow. Stay tuned, and good luck on your picks this week, even though we don't need luck. Let's make the money here at the Prestige. Follow, subscribe, hit the bell so you get notified whenever I make a video. I'm probably going to be making more videos. I know I'm going to be making one more video later this week with a Hail Mary parlay and maybe a couple more parlays. I might go over a couple of the fights again, though, if I made some changes or not. Or if I find some more info for the model and it changes the pick. But thank you for watching. Thank you for bearing with me. And shout out to Ben, my man, my dude. Let's go. Let's win this fucking money, brother. We can't afford to lose, brother.